Hey everyone, welcome back to Cindy's Culinary Corner. Today we are continuing with our Diabetes Awareness Month meals. I have a breakfast idea that is going to get you all excited. It is a sweet potato hash. Now when it comes to diabetes, you have to be mindful to choose lean meats and low starch vegetables. This dish is going to get you excited. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, we're gonna get into how we're cooking our ground turkey. Now the ingredients that we're using are granulated onion and garlic. We have some paprika, black pepper, salt, and the herb for this dish is thyme. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and pour everything in. So we have our granulated onion and our granulated garlic. And I'm putting a hefty amount of onion and garlic because I don't want to have to use too much salt. I'm going to go ahead in with our salt here. And remember, you're going to goûter, which means to taste as you go, to see if you need to add a pinch more of salt and pepper as needed. So that's our black pepper. And because paprika can stain, go ahead and use a spoon or drizzle it in if you want. That's our paprika, and lastly, our thyme. Now, ideally, I would want to use my hands, but as you guys can see, I have my nice nails done. So I don't like to get meat stuck underneath my nails. So that's why we're just going to use our spoon here to get everything well incorporated. And then we're gonna bring everything over to the stove to cook our turkey first. And then I'll show you how we're going to cook our sweet potato. Okay, now that we have everything well incorporated with our turkey, I'm gonna go overhead to the stove, get this cooked up, meet me at the stove. Okay guys, we're gonna get into making our turkey first. And then we're gonna layer our sweet potato to make our sweet potato hash. So I just added some avocado oil. The reason why is because avocado has a high smoke point, so I can use some high heat without the oil burning. So because we're making one serving right now, I'm only gonna use about half. Ooh, Jesus, second time. I'm gonna use about half of the meat. Almost burnt myself again. Be careful when you're at the stove. So remember, we've already seasoned our turkey. I'm gonna put that to the side. And we're just gonna let the turkey cook down to how we want it to be. Good idea to put your pan on medium heat if it's not already there. And you're just gonna brown the turkey. I know some people may be opposed to cooking turkey as opposed to red meat like beef because it can dry out. As long as you are paying attention to not overdo it, turkey can be moist too. Also, because turkey is a leaner meat, it doesn't really take that much time to cook. So this will probably take about 5 minutes. Now, if I had one with me, I don't. You would want to like mash the turkey or the meat while you're cooking it just to break it up and get more crumbles. But this will work. So break up as you go. Now remember the importance of tasting as you go. We've already seasoned the turkey when we started in the beginning, but as it starts to cook, you're gonna wanna take a piece, taste it, see if you need a little pinch more of salt or pepper, or even some rosemary or whatever herb you decide to add if you're being creative. So I'm just gonna let this stay for a little bit here. And I'm going to warm up a pan that I have off to the side because once we're done cooking, I'm going to transfer the meat over to a warmer pan to keep it hot. So I'm going to put that pan on the lowest heat possible. That's ideally to keep our food hot. One thing I can't stand is when I'm serving a dish for myself and mainly for anyone else, I want you to eat it while it's hot, okay? That makes the food more enjoyable, right? Now our turkey has beautiful color, nice brownness to it. Just gonna break up some of the bigger pieces to make sure that it's cooked through. But we don't want it to dry out, so you just gotta be mindful. Cut that open here. We are good. Cut open another piece there. We're good. I say that we've been doing this for about 3.5, 4 minutes if my spidey senses are right. I'm gonna add some of our kale that we had in the beginning, just to have that cooked down. Now the kale doesn't have any seasoning on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some salt and pepper while the kale cooks down. So our heat's all the way low. I'm gonna sprinkle some salt and sprinkle some pepper. And that's it for now. So that's all the ingredients that we're adding to our kale. We're just gonna go ahead and soften the kale a bit. I did this off camera, but one thing I do want to share for those of you who haven't made kale before, or collard greens, or any of those thick leafy greens, take the leaves off of the spine because that part of the leaf is hard to cook. So when I was chopping up the kale, I'll give you an example. You want to just cut the kale off. So this right here is pretty thick and it's going to take forever to cook. And we don't have time for that when we're trying to make breakfast. So cut it off, chop up the amount that you need, and it'll cook rather quickly. So our kale is where we want it to be. And even before we add this to the sweet potato, you can see how bright and beautiful this is. So that's why, like I said, adding color to your meal gets you excited about what you're eating, especially when it's healthy. So we have to goûter, aka taste. If only you could taste it. If only you could taste it. Very good. It's perfect. Well, perfect for me. So, trick is, put it in a hot pan. Turn the pan off because you're not trying to burn what you just made, but we want it to stay warm. So I take it off the heat so it can stop cooking. The idea is for it to stay warm and to not be cold, okay? And if you don't want to do this step, just go ahead, put this in a plate, cover it loosely with some foil, and your meat will stay warm. Now, with our pan that's still already hot, I'm gonna use some more avocado, drizzle that on there. Gonna bring the heat up to medium because we are going to toast our sweet potato. Now the sweet potato, I went ahead and par cooked it. So I blanched it in some hot water so that it wouldn't take too long to cook on the stove. The thing with hash, saw that pop? Gotta be careful. The thing with hash is you want it to be a little crispy, so that's what we're gonna do. So as we're allowing it to brown on one side, I'm gonna go ahead and add the ingredients that we're using for this here. Now I have some rosemary. We know that rosemary goes well with potatoes, so that's why we're putting it in the sweet potato. We have some salt and pepper that we're gonna sprinkle in, and my best friend, some red onions, okay? So we're gonna put the red onions first, so that can start to cook down. Sprinkle some pepper. And some salt. That's enough. That's enough. And lastly, the rosemary. Rosemary is a herb, so you gotta be mindful of how much you put. Sometimes I go a little heavy-handed with my herbs because I just love that pop of flavor in my mouth. So you can sprinkle as much as you want. We're just gonna start tossing everything in so that our flavor can get on every little piece. As you can see, the bottom has already started to brown. That's what we like. Gonna turn this way. So now that everything has been mixed well, I'm just gonna let that sit for about 2 minutes to brown on one side. Gonna flip things over, and then we're gonna add our meat and plate it. Alrighty, so our sweet potato is browning up well, and we don't want the sweet potato to be too mushy. I want there to be some bite and texture to it, so I'm going to finish it where it's at. I'm gonna take my turkey that we cooked earlier just to warm it back up and add it to our sweet potato. I'm going to do a light drizzle of avocado. The reason why we're doing a light little drizzle is because we do not want dry food. Gonna go ahead and just toss that up together. Warm up the avocado oil that we just poured on top of there. And let's go ahead and goûter. That's really good. That's really good. Only thing that I do want to do is add a little pinch more salt. That's why it's important to taste as you go. So we have that ready. Gonna just let that salt incorporate into the dish. And we're gonna plate it in a nice pretty bowl. So we're gonna turn the stove off. And we're gonna plate our beautiful turkey hash. We don't want to waste anything, so let's be careful here. I'm working with my left hand, y'all. Holding this hot pan, y'all. Oh, Jesus. We lost one. We have no dogs here to eat it. Yeah. So there you have your beautiful sweet potato hash. And honestly, as I'm looking at this, I'm like, this could be a Thanksgiving side dish, y'all. So if you don't have a chance to make this for breakfast, whip this together, bring it to the Friendsgiving or whoever's house that you're visiting for Thanksgiving. And of course, we need some color. So I chopped up some kale So this is some fresh kale here. I try to chop it as thinly as possible so it didn't taste raw. There you have it. 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 Tell me that don't look good. Like, go ahead. Lie to yourself. That's it. Hope you guys try it. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. See you next time.